are you doing?
Once the test came, just a ticket.
A list?
Yeah.
Oh, wicked. Is that your job for the trip?
No.
There's jobs around here. What's your role with the church?
I'm going to cook and camp coordinator. So we're going to have a lot of people coming out. Yeah.
You haven't been on the COBRA before?
No.
What are you like most excited to sort of see?
Expectations? Well, my expectations are that the health professionals that come and engage with the kids have a good time, but also to try and catch some of these kids early intervention with drug and alcohol. Because we've got a lot of very young kids smoking marijuana in the town. By young, I mean 10 and 11 year old. Hoping that we're able to show them a better way of doing things.
Have fun, Stevie. Bye.
No race. There's no race.
That's going to be a good word.
First kid that said this is my bike walks.
This is your bike. This is your bike. Robert. Thank you.
One's next to your lines, man. One's
Get him close to the skin.
I know, one's next to your lines.
One's right.
One's right.
They're different.
This one ain't be able to fish out here, or just the left foot.
Yeah, leave him like that. Yeah, jam.
I love the shit.
Yeah.
Get cameraman.
Lift that bottom one. There you go. That bottom one, right? This bottom one goes there.
You got the muscles. He can
So lay down, be right there behind you.
he's too good.
That's him.
No more bites?
They pulled on the colourful orange t-shirts, posed for a group photo with sponsors outside of the newly opened day centre, and were finally on their way. There was plenty of enthusiasm and a sense of excitement as the convoy departed Coober headed for the open road and onto Unadada, looking to capitalise on the northerly winds. Arriving some 2.5 hours later, the team prepared by riding their bikes around town, playing some basketball and caught up with the local young people, many who they already knew. The factor they couldn't prepare for, however, was the unusually hot weather for the second day of spring. It was 36 degrees already, and the rest of the week was forecast to be just as hot. The team and riders have a bonding session in the Umoona Aboriginal School gym over a barbecue and head for the swags.
ADAC as a community organisation assists where they can in communities, like the barbecue. We come along to the barbecue. As you can see, we cook with what we've got at the time. The barbecue was originally purchased for the homeless people in Adelaide, but fortunately we get to use it out in the community. We're able to bring it out in the communities and assist.
Well, welcome everyone to COBRA. It's great to be out here in Umoona. So we really hope you have a great time as we're travelling along. We just got to make sure that on this ride that we're really are respectful of each other and helpful to each other, and that we also obey your leaders. It's going to be hot tomorrow. It's 38 degrees here today, and so tomorrow is going to be really hot. So we just want to be very careful of the environment. There could be snakes around. We don't want you to push yourself too hard, because you know you could, when you push yourself too hard, you could hurt yourself. So just some people will only do 5 kilometres at a time and then get back in the bus and do another 5 kilometres later on, and there'll be other people that'll be able to go the whole hog of the way. We've got some Powerade and also, what's that other one called?
Gatorade.
Gatorade, yeah. We've got some Gatorade just to keep these cellulites, is it? No, what's the word? Electrolytes. Flowing in the blood.
Sugar, I think.
Now, did anybody bring a sleeping bag at all?
Nope.
Did anybody bring their own swag?
They didn't say it on the thing.
Are young people? Did anybody bring one?
No.
Okay, well, because I've got 24 swags and 20 sleeping bags, and that's what I want to take back, because it all belongs to the Junior Footy Club in Tjutagku. Right. Yeah, really great to have you young fellas along. I reckon we're going to have a great time together if we just work within our limits and respect each other. So chill out and have a great time. Well, we're going to go to bed now in the next 5-10 minutes, and then we're going to be up at 7 to get on the road probably by 7:30, because we can only ride till about 10:30. So we want you to have a good sleep. Peace, man, and have a good break, and we'll see you in the morning.
COBRA riders were up early to start the first stage of their 3-day ride home. After a great breakfast, the COBRA 2 ride began, when the young men donned their new helmets and gloves, rode out of the schoolyard, past the famous pink roadhouse, and off the bitumen, onto the dirt road south. COBRA 2 2013 was organised to encourage young riders to engage with mentors and positive role models. Based on the 2012 COBRA model, which comprised mainly of adult clients, this ride and camping adventure focused on at-risk students, with a holistic drug and alcohol program, early intervention approach. By 8:15, it became quickly evident that this ride, in such heat, was going to be a big challenge for even the young and fit ones. The hills of Umoona proved difficult, but the hot northwesterly wind was helpful as they rode past a very dry Hookie's Hole. 4 or 5 riders pushed on into more hills, including Stevie Murray, Keone Bales, Nicholas Carmichael and Roy Murray. These 4 COBRA riders stood out from the group with the amazing effort they put in. It was soon important to take shelter under the trees, as the mid-morning saw temperatures rise too high again. They sheltered until after lunch, but the flies, wind and heat meant that they needed to move on to Mount Barry and camp at Laura Creek. There were some very real benefits from even this short time away together. Building trusting relationships is so central to any effective therapy, and workers from Umoona Health got close to the young people in a way that would have been impossible in town. Young, at-risk males were exposed to drug and alcohol information that they may not have gathered together to hear in COBRA PD. The group experienced a growing sense of depending on each other in a team environment, and thus a greater sense of community. They all engaged in some great exercise. They accepted the challenge of the desert and the weather and pushed through, building a sense of resilience. A well-deserved rest and a game of football lifts morale as the ride stops into Mount Barry Station to hit the refreshing cold showers. The sun sets as the team sits down to enjoy the T-bone steaks, fresh from Tony Williams' private reserve. Most of the riders began to talk about the next ride, as well as the development of the drop-in centre for them to chill out in. There was a real sense of joy about going bush, and a connection to country, as many of their families are from Umoona or have relatives living there still. The riders had a taste of what could be possible in their future as they take on such challenges as a group.
Umoona Health this year around thought of getting the young kids involved together with the elderly people for this bike ride, because they feel that it's very important to educate the young kids about the issues pertaining to drug and alcohol, and the moment to give young kids this knowledge of the issues they have with drug and alcohol, when they get big and become adults, it's easy for them to understand the issues surrounding alcohol, and also we find that it's easier to get them into other programs and keep them out of drug and alcohol issues. We also find that it is not easy to get young kids involved in such programs and to get them to understand the concept of the COBRA bike ride and what message we want to give them with regard to drug and alcohol issues. But also we identify that it's a very important thing to do. So even though it's difficult, we have been trying to engage the school kids in different programs with regard to drug and alcohol issues, and we have started investing time and people and resources in getting younger kids involved with our drug and alcohol programs and with the COBRA ride with a long-term plan for them. So this will be a starting point, and then we will be with them right throughout their young adult life and going into their adult life, and also moving forward as families. And once we get them involved at this age, it's easier for us to keep them together with Umoona and its programs, and it will help us to give them a better understanding and get them to help us in getting other people from the community also involved in these programs.
Cool. And how did you find the ride today?
It was fantastic. Yeah, the heat was a bit too much, but with the young kids riding as well, it gave us more courage as well to be with them and help and guide them with this. And also the important thing is, while riding, it was also we were able to talk to them about the issues pertaining to drug and alcohol and the consequences of using them, and yeah, now they are getting a bit aware of this situation.
Through Umoona Health's cross-agency cooperation, Paul Elliott from the Aboriginal Health Council of South Australia and Byron Wright from the Aboriginal Drug and Alcohol Council got the attention of the young riders with their multimedia presentations and open-air discussions, punching home messages focusing on the real-time effects of binge drinking, safe levels of alcohol use, the effects on the body, mind and spirit of alcohol, and fetal alcohol syndrome. This dramatic presentation led the young people to ask quite deep and probing questions around the campfire.
My name's Paul Elliott. I work for the Aboriginal Drug and Alcohol Council in Adelaide. I've come on this camp as this is the COBRA bike run. We did this last year, and this year we're doing it with a lot of young fellas, ages 11 to 17. We've struck a bit of hot weather this one. It's spoiled it a bit, but we're out here camping just off of Mount Barry, and we're going to hope to get a little bit of education in tonight for the young ones. I've been doing this sort of work for near on 31 years now, and tonight I'm just hoping to try and teach young fellas a little bit more about what drug and alcohol can do to your brain, and tonight about your children.
And you're going to be showing some movies tonight?
A short film about fetal alcohol. Short film about fetal alcohol. I also got my friend Brian Wright here, who works for the Aboriginal Drug and Alcohol Council, and he'll be sharing the spotlight with me if I can get him there. Big hangover, yeah, that's when you drink a lot again too. What about, you see people drinking a lot, what do you see them doing?
They lose control.
Waste a lot.
One at a time? Yeah?
Well, one of my mum's friends said that his son drowned his dog because he was drunk.
So they do some pretty funny things when they're drunk. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people are fighting when they're drunk?
Very cute, it was like this big.
Anybody know? Yeah, that's